All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Sorry about the black screen. I didn't have the camera hooked up. Anyway, bro, thank you for the 5x5. Elite Chief, thank you for the 5x5. Alcohol Prepper, thank you for the 5x5. Kimberly, thank you for the 5x5. Krista, Ozark, Edley, excuse me, Mitch, Home Sweet Home, thank you for the 5x5. Evolving Media, Ozark Prepper, I guess Redneck, Gary, Sarita, Loretta, thank you for the 5x5. Ectate, Zoomer, Dobie, Elaine, Blue, Tom Tom, Raccoon, Flowngrown, Wallace, Ozark Negro, thank you for the 5x5. I like that one. Witty Mystic, Maria, Double Q, thank you for the 5x5. Jeep Dog, Colt, Groundhog, Kill Switch, thank you for the 5x5. Beef and Chicken, PA Mama Bear. Sersha, thank you for the 5x5. Donovan, Water Dude, First Laugh. Pop Tart, thank you for the 5x5. Incognito, Lexi, David, Truthful Troll, Brian, Gregorgio, thank you for the 5x5. Tim, Blue, Mulaney, thank you for the 5x5. Vegan, Boxer, First and Last, T is here. Base Bunny, thank you for the 5x5. Teddy, thank you for the Nikon by Sony. Nikon's not a real camera. Vegan Bushcrafter, thank you for the 5x5. Buster, George, George, thank you for the 5x5. Nancy, Virtual, Ebola, American, Pack, thank you for the 5x5. F you all, Murder Izzard, Crow, Nomad, Bucky, Spectre, Marty, Michael, Brian, Caribbean House, thank you for the 5x5. James, Buffalo, Jerry, Maddie, Ice, thank you for the 5x5. Mario, Vizard, David, Frankie, Sojourner, Watchman, Donovan again, thank you for the 5x5. Prep to Adapt, Maria Jackson, Raccoon Eyes, thank you for the 5x5 on Rumble. Mario, 1 second after, Tanya, Let's Go, Ryan, Little John, thank you for the 5x5. All right, guys, Mouse in the House, thank you for the 5x5. Sweet Rita, thank you for the 5x5. Observation, Peaceful Prepper, Electra, Godzilla, Little John, thank you for the 5x5. Joseph, I don't think anything's going to happen on Halloween. You know, every year, or just about every year, people think that something's going to happen on an event, right? Like whether it's Halloween, Christmas, New Year's. Now, could something happen Thanksgiving parade at the Thanksgiving parade, or Christmas at a mall? Maybe, being that we are constantly getting these threats. Though I haven't heard anything. ABC, thank you for the 5x5. I haven't seen any new threats or any kind of elaboration on these threats. So I don't know, man. The bald one, nice one. Dan Rose, thank you for the 5x5. Lost, is that Lost? Lost. Whatever. Thank you for the 5x5. Sasha thinks the videos are all hype and propaganda. I think that some of them were hype. I think some of them are trying to hype people up to start some shit so that they can go and do it. Like, I don't think a lot of the people who are doing these videos are going to set it off. I think that they are going to wait till somebody sets it off to get in there and get some. But I don't think a lot of these people have the balls to set it off. Though they would be inciting a riot should something happen. That's a different story. Back to the terror issue. Listen, there's been no elaboration. There's been no updates. You had these vague warnings by Laura Loomer and what's her name, Sarah Adams. So I don't know, man. Again, it's better to be ready and keep your head on a swivel than it is just to walk through life thinking nothing's going to happen, right? You got to think that something's going to happen, or you should be ready and face the possibility of something happening. Not that you should be walking through life nervous and scared of your own shadow. Absolutely not. You should always be ready for anything that happens. So anything that I talk about on here is just getting people, dialed into the fact that something could go down. Listen, do I think that there's going to be a whole nationwide of people rummaging stores? No. Do I see some neighborhoods doing this? Possibly. We got to see where it goes. I don't know. I would love to sit here and be like, this shit's gonna pop off, but I don't know. And listen, again, I thrive with chaos. That's just who I am. And the chaotic thriving thing is part of how a lot of us become better at our jobs, whatever our job is, right? So if you're an EMT or you're a doctor, you're a police officer or a firefighter, even a military guy looking to go downrange and get into a fight, you want to test your resolve. You want to test the fact that you can handle whatever that shit is coming in at your direction. You want to be able to know that you got into a gunfight, for example, that you're not going to turn and run the other way. There was a sergeant like 20-something years ago downtown by 28th Street, where I used to live on the east side. And apparently there was some gunfight on 27th Street between 2nd and 3rd. The sergeant or lieutenant, it was a lieutenant, he was a white shirt, turned around and ran. Left his officer in the gunfight by himself. So normally when that happens, an officer is immediately transferred. Larry, I still have my fitness channel. I have a video coming out tomorrow morning on a fitness channel. And the next day I'm doing another video on the November walking challenge. We'll talk about the November walking challenge on Angry Prepper Fitness channel. But anyway, so you want to know, guys, that you're not a coward. Like for firefighters, there are certain fires we want to go to that are just like the mother of all fires. And you want to be able to know that you're not going to run. Now, I've been to enough to know where I stand. But sometimes curveballs can happen in fires, and that will test how you react and how well you recover from whatever curveball is thrown at you at that given event, right? So 9/11 was definitely that event for a lot of people. Civilians, firefighters, police officers alike. We all had to adapt and figure out what we're going to do on the fly when that went down, especially those that were stuck in the building. Now, a lot of people had seemingly got out. A lot of people didn't. There were a lot of people that didn't know about exits on the other side of the building that they might not have been able to get to, right? So again, you definitely want to test your resolve. And listen, there are events that you can do that. That Go Ruck event that I talk about for years. I talked about for years. You can definitely test your cardio ability with shit like that. That puts you in a bad place, man. That puts you in an ugly place. Doing squats and shit for 8, 12, 24 hours, that puts you in a shitty place. And now you know what you're made of when you go through an event like that. I've watched people almost get to the finish line in those events and quit. And and you're not in danger. You're just getting the shit kicked out of you. You're doing push-ups with a 50-pound pack on. You're doing squats. You're walking like 30-something miles or 40-something miles. You're getting your ass handed to you. So and that will test who you are, whether or not you have the ability to stick with it or quit. It's like mini SEAL training, if you will, just the shit that they put you through. They got you carrying people, they got you carrying objects you don't need to be carrying, garbage cans, homeless people, the whole 9 yards. It tests who you are. Mike Gunner said they started looting in Illinois already. It's not even a first yet, man. Damn. But he said, yeah, fuck all that. Yeah, listen. Again, there's a SEAL training. It's a mock SEAL training school in California. It's run by a Navy SEAL guy. I always wanted to take that. For me to take that, I got to start hitting the treadmill again. Or running on the streets, rather. Excuse me. I got to start hitting the streets, and getting my running ability back. But if I try that bullshit right now, I'm gonna break a hip and just die of a heart attack. Suze, I'm sorry to hear about that. Sorry to hear about putting your cat down. It's always a rough one with the animals when you put them down. You sort of feel bad. I've never been that connected, except with my current dog now. The other pets we had, I know that they got to pass away. They got to go. When you adopt a pet, at least with me, when I adopt a pet, I know their lifespan. So I'm attached to them, but I also know that when they pass away, we had good times. But I know some people take it harder than others. Getting a bad rep. I know it's necessary to stand up. Paul Zhang. Yeah, I guess, Paul. I guess what you're saying. But anyway, so yeah, listen, you definitely want to test yourself in life. I don't understand. I don't understand not wanting to test yourself in life. I don't get it. And when people are like, I don't want to do that. That sounds dangerous. I'm like, you know what? Why don't you just roll up in a tampon and go to sleep? You know, like put yourself in a tampon sleeping bag and just enough already. You know, watch Golden Girls and eat bonbons and raise your estrogen. I don't understand that. I'm all in on testing myself any chance I get. You know, like I am not a big fan of heights, and people are like, you're a firefighter and you don't like heights? No, I don't. But I do what I have to do when the time comes. Even in training, I have to get with it. You know. Jason, what did you eat at Twigs? I don't know what the hell Twigs is. You mean Wigs? Piggly Wiggly? I don't know. The angry liberal chef. I'm a picky. When it comes to cooking or eat, I'm picky. My God, you don't put anything American in front of me. Is this some other bullshit? I'm out on it. No, I'm like super picky. I'm like a bitch when it comes to eating. I'm like, yo, I'm not eating this. I'm not eating that. I'm fucking really bad about it. Dan Rose, they're already talking about closing down Walmarts. So Walmart is talking about doing online ordering only in certain neighborhoods. Excuse me. Live free or die. I have not skydived. I'm looking to skydive, but I have to drop some weight before I can go skydiving. Apparently, I'm too fat to go skydiving. So yeah, but I do want to do it. That tests everything. Jumping out of a nice plane. Yeah, that'll test your fucking nutsack. But I'm telling you, going to a fire and watching shit roll over your head and the possibility. Listen, I'd rather fall out of a plane and hit the ground than burn alive. I will tell you, I'd rather get shot or blown up on an IED than. Twigs is a restaurant? What kind of fucking restaurant is Twigs? Is it a Mexican? I don't know what Twigs is, man. You guys say shit like I know, like. I live in the East Coast. We don't all have the same restaurants around us. You know, like I learned a couple of restaurant chains out when I was doing my, tornado helping shit, you know, which I got to start getting ready for and I got to fix my truck for in case some shit goes down. But anyway, I don't know what Twigs is, man. I want to do bungee jumping and skydiving next year. So I got to come down another 20 pounds. And there's a skydive acceleration program that I'm looking to take because you don't do tandem jumps with it. You do assisted jumps. I'm too big to do tandem jumps, you know, or fat, as they would say, or heavy, or an anchor, whatever you want to call it, plummeting through the fucking sky into the ground at 30,000 miles an hour. I would probably be my own fucking meteorite. Anyway, been in a flashover sucks. Flashovers can be fun if you survive. You know, and it all depends. We do a rollover scenario, right? Twigs and Sticks sounds like a vegan restaurant. That's not a real thing, is it? Someone's asking, are you bald? Of course I'm bald. I have no hair. Learn how to skydive 40 years ago. Oh, you learned how to skydive 40 years ago. Ah, okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be some shit. The angry anchor, the angry comet. This fat fuck is falling out of the sky at an alarming rate. Ha! Jerry said, "Did you hear about the truck that was carrying monkeys that had COVID and herpes?" Yeah, boy. Let's get some. Let's spread herpes and COVID while we're at it. As everybody's running around stealing shit, now we're going to have monkeys in the mix fucking spreading their nonsense around. And apparently this is a real thing. This was in Mississippi. At least one monkey on the loose after it crashed in Mississippi. It's only one monkey, though. That was today. A couple of hours ago. All right. It's a news report. I'm not going to do that now, but whatever. Do you have advice on how to be a great them for LGBT. Mark, no. I'm not answering that stupid question. Andy Hepsi. But anyway, so all of this is going on, guys. I mean, it seems like they're just throwing everything they can and seeing what sticks. And I'm talking about like the elite, so whoever's in charge of fucking us over. What's under the cap? A bald head. What does a bald head look like? That's. But anyway, don't kiss the monkey. Yeah, don't fuck it either. You know, like stay away from the monkey. You know, don't put your lips on or around it at all. Yeah. So I mean, listen, nothing's gonna come of that. You know, this isn't Outbreak. You know, with Dustin Hoffman and Cuba Gooding Jr. Nothing's gonna happen. This monkey got away. I mean, you know, if it was in an African country where they eat those things or some shit, or an Indian country where they eat them, maybe that would be a concern. But yeah, this is not a concern. Monkey, and if this monkey was born and raised in captivity, it's probably going to die if they don't catch it. But they're going to track it down. I'm just saying, if they don't, you know, it'll die. It'll die out in the woods. Where the Wagyu at on November 1st? Jody, listen, if you can find Wagyu steaks at a supermarket, yo, point me in the right direction, please. Because those are hard to find. I thought the Senate was still in D.C. Yeah, really. Listen, none of that matters. Like, again, more bullshit to throw at us to see what's going to stick. They're probably seeing if the monkey's going to... Again, for that monkey to spread herpes, you got to, like, tongue kiss it, I guess. Or rub your face. I don't know. You know, and it has to sneeze on you to get... And what kind of Mr. 19 does it have? That would be the more interesting question. What kind of Mr. 19 does it have in its body? You know? Lonnie, thank you for the kind words. But yeah, listen, that would be more interesting. Like, what kind of Mr. 19 is in that Wagyu stay locked up? Flown grown, does it? Because I've never seen it at a regular supermarket. Like, I go to the whitest of all white supermarkets, which is in Trumbull, Connecticut, and yeah, they don't even have Wagyu there. And every time they see me, they're you know, like, oh my God, is this Negro in our neighborhood? It's always the same shit every time I go in there. You know, like the other day, I was helping my son's mother fix her front lawn with the Halloween decorations, and this, you know, old white couple walks up to me, and they're going, "Do people rent those?" And I looked at her and I go, "Why would she ask me that question?" I go, yeah, you can rent these, you know, and then you can give them back. She goes, "Oh man." She goes, "So are you here to like repair and fix them?" I go, "Yes, I do. I repair these things. This one was having trouble standing up, and that one had a hole in it, so I'm here to fix it." And she goes, "Oh, what is the name of your company?" I go, "Halloween Global." And she goes, "Oh, it's a Global Halloween." And she goes, "Oh man, is that a good company?" I go, "Yes, we fix and rent Halloween gear out." I said, and I don't know what she asked now. She asked something next about like, how much do you guys charge? And I was just like, "Oh, you know, standard price, you know, standard market price for renting these things." And she was like, "Oh man," because she didn't realize that, you know, that I was helping out. So I often feed into it, and I'll make a fake narrative if, like, especially white folks do shit like that. They're like, "Oh, you know what? Are you a worker here?" "Yes, I am. My name is Raul." You know, and then I'll make up some bullshit. Listen. I don't get offended anymore. It is what it is. People are gonna, you know, they're gonna look at me and think I work there, or I'm an ex-con, whatever it is. I used to get ex-con a lot when I was younger. I used to get ex-con or police officer a lot. So, you know. And, you know, listen, you just roll with it, man. You don't sit there and fight it. And they were old. They were like 70-something years old. What am I going to do? Fucking, you know, break up balls and, you know. You just run with it. You have a little fun, man. That's all. You know, I can't see, you know, like, "Lady, just because I'm black." Let's not go down there. Angry Pablo. Yes. You know, it's you just have some fun with it. That's all it is. It's always going to be a thing, you know. I mean, listen. I've done it before. I did it with a white guy, actually, a few years ago. I was like, "Hey, you work here?" He goes, "No, I don't work in Walmart." I was like, holy shit. Now I know what that felt like when I did that to him. I was like, oh, shit. That's what it feels like. So, yeah, I try to be careful. But, Yeah, man. Listen, you have yeah, they were definitely boomers, without a doubt. But it was okay. It was all right. Yes, Nostradamus. If they knew about it, are you the Cuban landscaper? And I don't know. It's just like, and so my son's mother's like, why would you tell him that? I'm like, I'm just having fucking fun with them, man. She's like, they're gonna see you next time, and I said, then I'll apologize. I said until then, it's not a big deal, you know. But yeah, man, you gotta have fun with it sometimes. My name is Juan, and they'll ask me what aisle something's on. I'm like, oh, it's on aisle 15. It's down to the left, to the right, and then they'll walk all the way down there. They'll get, they'll come back. They were like, yeah, I didn't see anything down there. Like, yeah, I don't work here. And then the look on their face after you tell them that you don't work there, after you send them on a mission, is priceless. That is why it's good to have fun with it, man. I mean, hell, why not? I'm not fucking doing anything bad. And just the sheer look in their face when you tell them I don't work here, they go, oh. Yeah, that's all right. I often tell them I'm just having fun. You can't go through life being mad at everything or every little racial thing that happens. You just can't. It's fucking stupid. Like, listen, I don't know how it is for a lot of you people, but if you're a black guy like myself that does a lot of traveling, I get in a lot of peculiar situations when it comes to race. So a lot of the times I roll with it. Sometimes I'll flip out, but I'll only flip out if it's something bad. Other than that, I try to have fun with it. The Watchman says Walmart wants to use facial recognition to add up previous shoplifting offenses, then arrest the felon rather. Yes, that's probably true. That's probably true. So, listen, I think a lot of this is going to usher in a new digital ID thing. I think this is what it's opening it up to. I mean, it's the 28th, and they're not even talking about meeting up. They're not even talking about it. So it is what it is. And the crazy shit is somebody brought up a great point. This girl, she did a video, and there's been a couple of videos of black folks. Man, they've been going all in on black folks. They were like, some of you people don't even like this country. A lot of you are also complaining how hard it is to live here. You guys want all of the accolades and none of the, she went all in. She was like, you want to take the money from the state, but then you want to complain about it? She went to fucking Hammer Town. She was hammering Negroes left and right. I was like, oh my God, they're going to lynch this girl. It was just like, she went all in. And she was speaking facts. That was a crazy shit. She was speaking facts. But she went all in. And she was just like, holy shit. Yeah, it was bananas. And then there was a couple people that did that. There was one guy, he was like, yo, you know why people are upset about the EBT not being refunded? A lot of those people sell their EBTs. And I was like, I remember that used to be a thing when my ex-wife was doing it, but you were able to take money out and you were able to take cash back, right? So you would buy something for $20 and like, oh, you want cash back? And you'd be like $15, $10. I think the max was 20 that you can get back, depending on what you bought. And a lot of people were doing that. They were taking cash back and buying certain items with their EBT card and getting cash back. People were also taking that cash and getting their hair, their nails did. Women were getting their hair, their nails done. People were buying clothing with their EBT when they weren't supposed to. There was a lot of fraudulent shit going on, and there's still a ton of fraudulent shit going on. So a lot of people are upset over that, right? They're upset that they can't swindle the system anymore, and now all of a sudden their kids are hungry. Negro, your fucking kids were eating shit, junk food anyway. There was a million ways that you could have fed your kid. I've been in homes where kids were in dirty diapers. The beds were disgusting. They were in a bad place. But then you go into the mother's room, and her room was fairly nice. Bed covers. One girl had 2 laptops and 3 iPhones. And I don't know this was a few years back. So it might have been almost 10 years ago. And anyway, I was like, and this bitch she was getting money. But I don't know how she got those computers, because she had the MacBook Pros. She didn't have the little ones, the MacBook Pros. So those MacBook Pros, they were expensive back then. Like, I need a new one, by the way. My screen is all fucked up. I got a small portion of screen I can look at right now. But yeah, so she was spending money on that. Kids were running around in diapers, you know, looking like they were from Africa themselves. Meanwhile, they were mixed. I think she was white or white Spanish, and the kids were like, you know, half Mabutu, half Juan, you know. And yeah, they were in a bad way, you know. And in hindsight, we should have reported that, but we didn't. But yeah, anyway, pretty sure the kids are still alive. But yeah, it was just, that's the kind of shit that goes on with EBT, you know. And people don't want to admit that part. They want to all of a sudden, my kids are starving. They need to be eaten, you know. What they want? They chicken fried rice and cornbread. Chicken fried rice and cornbread is a bad combination, by the way. The cut is too widespread, not focused. So, let's see where this goes. Right? Let's see where this goes. We got a couple of days. We got tomorrow, Wednesday. Sorry, we got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We got 3 more days to see where this goes. So, we shall see. You know, I mean, again, if these and it's all the politicians. Everybody's trying to blame the Democrats, and everybody's trying to, and the other half is trying to blame Trump. And it doesn't work that way. These people are all complicit in this shit. They are all in this together. There is no way that the governors, the Democrats wanted to sneak some healthcare shit for illegal migrants and all those, and the Republicans are like, no. Well, the Democrats can then turn around and go, you know what? We'll take that off the table. We'll take that off. We'll take this off. Let's make this deal happen. But they're not doing that because they do not care. They want this shutdown to happen. This is going both ways, guys. This is not just Trump, and this is not just Democrats. This is the political party that is in play right now, screwing up the entire system. So, we shall see how bad this is going to go. Yeah, listen, Johnny Terrell, I'm not as far as content goes, this is going to be good content for me if this shit gets out of control. I'll be honest with you. I'll be hanging out in front of somebody's supermarket filming this shit. Kathy, I am CPR trained, or was CPR trained, or am, rather. I am CPR trained. But, yeah, man, this is all bullshit. This is all bullshit. I mean, like, and supposedly the heating program, which I didn't even know was a thing, is also being threatened right now because of the government shutdown. So I guess some people get assisted heating. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought I heard something like that before, and I was like, no, that's not something. That can't be real. It's a real thing. So apparently that's being affected by this as well. So now they're saying people are going to freeze to death or some shit. I was just like, wait, what? Yet, yes, Nick, yet we're still funding Israel and Ukraine. Ain't that some shit? Pass more Ukraine bills. Pass more bills to get money to them, but not to the people of this country. And listen, the people who are being affected by this should definitely be up in arms over this. That's it. They should definitely be up in arms over this shit. Not taking it out on people in their cars or robbing their home or waiting for somebody to come out of the supermarket. They should be going after the government over this shit. Hands down. But instead, they're acting a fool and fucking talking shit. Someone said heating assistance is gone. It is funded by the federal government, but did not distribute to the states. They knew since April. Oh no, someone just mentioned the HEAP program. It's HEAP or HEAT? I guess it would be HEAP. I don't know. All right, that's interesting. Yeah, so listen, guys. I don't. Again, there's a side of me that's hoping that maybe they're going to, like, in the next couple of days have an emergency meeting, because no food and heat. Yo, people are going to lose their shit if that's the case. If you're doing both. You can only listen one or the other. Someone said HEAP. All right, thank you. RW channel. Yes, I'm on EBT. Exactly. You know, like crazy shit is obviously I can't apply for it, right? My name's in the system, and most city workers, their names are in the system, so you can't apply for EBT in New York City because as soon as they put my name in my Social Security, and they're like, Negro, you're a firefighter, you're making over this much money, you can't apply, like So that's why there's so many scams here. There are people who will not married, their kids' fathers so that they can get more money. The Hasidic Jews, they're huge into that. They don't marry legally. They are together, married by the Jewish whatever bullshit religion, and then they go and they apply for assisted living. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. For welfare, excuse me, and they'll have as many kids as it takes to reap more money from the government. It's insane. Their scam is insane. I I will honestly be shocked if the government does let this happen. Suze, that's why I'm sitting here thinking like I can't see them letting this happen. Like I'm probably at this point making a very naive statement, but I can't see this letting them happen. Like food and heat. Like I just again, we're talking about it because it's a good conversation piece. But I don't know, man. I think that they're going to keep everybody on their toes, and like come the 30th in 2 days, they're going to be like, oh, we're going to have an emergency meeting. We're going to shuttle this money through. Now, keep in mind, the contingency fund is only $6 billion. So it's not going to fund all of it. It's going to fund part of it, which is, I think, like 80% of it's going to be funded. The other 20% is like on its own. The USDA can also put money, has a fund that they can put into it as well, from what I read or how I understood it. So if that's the case, there is $6 billion contingency fund, but the USDA can also add money into it if needed, which can put it over the $6 billion that's already there. What the hell is December going to look like if they're struggling now? Maryland, yeah, the Hasidic Jews are always in the middle of some scam. You know that there was a bunch of them downtown, I think last week, they were downtown protesting against Israel because Israel wants them to join their army. And they're all like, no, I can't. I'm Jewish. Like the whole fucking, they're sitting there doing the fucking, the Haklava dance and all, just so that they don't serve the country that they're living in. Fucko. If you're living in Israel and you have what you call it in Israel, citizenship, serve your country. Good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, do people need to serve that country? Probably not. But if you're going to live there, you should serve. Hasidic Jews are the only group of people who will not serve here and use their religion as an excuse and over in Israel. And Benjamin Netanyahu's putting the screws in them. But for some reason, they were protesting here in the United States. That shows you how much bullshit the United States is involved, that you're protesting here about something that's happening over there. That's bizarre. All right. So let's see. No, heat benefits have not been shut down, but the start of 2025-2026 application period in New York has been delayed until November 17th of this year due to the federal shutdown. So it's not shut down, but there's going to be a delay in the application process. So maybe some people will get cold. Hey, get some wool blankets, man. Those things are a lifesaver. Oh, man. You go camping, you wrap yourself in a wool blanket, toasty, man. In fact, if you use a bag and a wool blanket, you're the warmest you're ever going to be in the not a garbage bag, contractor bag. Use the contractor bag and a wool blanket. You put the contractor bag on the outside of the wool blanket. You're going to be the warmest you'll ever been. I was in like minus 20 degrees. I had a Dave Canterbury wool blanket. I put a contractor bag over my feet, up to my waist, because the bag didn't go that high, but it was like up to my waist, a little bit up here. I was the warmest I've ever been. Had a fire going, and a and a contractor bag and a wool blanket. Man, I was knocked out. I woke up the next morning like, holy shit, best sleep ever, man. Yes, at that point, I would probably look like a tampon wrapped up in a wool blanket and a contractor bag. And I'll tell you one thing, it's a good night's sleep. They're not accepting new SNAP applications, and the applications for the HEAP program is delayed. So regular HEAP applications have been postponed for the normal start date, but applications will be accepted once the program is open again, whenever that opens up. The 2024-2025 regular benefit period closed on April 7th of this year. So again, I mean, they're saying the program's not shut down, but it's being delayed. That's the same thing as EBT. It's the same shit. EBT is not shut down. The money's delayed. So, yeah, people are probably still going to fucking freeze their nutsacks. This is why, guys, you do not rely on the government. You do not rely on the government, and this is the reason. The chat is very busy tonight. Damn. All right. And someone said, I guess Massachusetts HEAP is closed permanently for the season. Listen, different states have different rules. So, I mean, I don't think they're all the same rules. Zoomer Prepper said, I want my paycheck from the Navy. I hear you, man. But, our family is giving money to other families that have no food. They got EBT, hard times when the kids are hungry. Listen, there are people out with, I have to say this, because I don't want this to be like a bashing party, if you will, but there are people who need to be on EBT, period. But EBT, welfare SNAP, whatever you want to call it, is a temporary program, or it's a temporary position for you to be on or in for a couple of months, maybe a year. But you're not supposed to have generational wealth on EBT. Some of the shit I've seen, or videos I've seen over the last few years of people bragging about being on EBT, people bragging about us working for them to live their lives. These people have no goals. I can't imagine getting an EBT every month and going, man, I'm living a life. I got food, I can get my liquors, I can go smoke my weeds, I can have 8,000 kids and get $400 each for them. I can't imagine thinking like that. That is bizarre. That you're comfortable being that way. And I don't understand it, man. That's fucking bizarre. The block cheese and the bag of beans. So yeah, the block cheese I don't think they do anymore. But there's a food program. I'll film it from my terrace so that you guys can take a look at it. But you should see this line, and you should see the amount of food that they bring. And it's normally like vegetables and fruits and shit like that. Matter of fact, they bring so much here. You want at night, you'll see the drug addicts running around with raspberries and boxes of bananas. I don't know what they're doing with the raspberries and boxes of bananas. No, they're not eating that shit. So I don't know what they're doing with it. But you see them running around with it. Every now and again, someone, a drug addict will see me. They'll be like, oh, you want some raspberries? No, not from you. I got it from around the corner. I don't give a fuck if you got it from the store and I watched you take it. I'm not taking it from you, But anyway, that's the kind of shit that goes on around here. And the line is long, and the amount of food is insane. The amount of garbage that they leave behind is even worse. But still, this is being reliant on the system. You're not supposed to be reliant on the system. You're supposed to be reliant on yourself. So yes, if you're on EBT because you really need it, a lot of people who really need it, they don't abuse it. They stay on it. They take from it what they need, and then they stop. They get a job, and they go back to work, and they do what needs to be done. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's situation is different. But when you are online bragging about the amount of money you're getting from the government every month, and that you say, mine's is okay, because I don't know what mine's is. I know what mine is. I know mine's is. And they're like, mine's people's are okay, and we're going to get fed. We're going to eat. We're never going to go hungry. And we're never going to go hungry came out of one lady's mouth a couple of months ago, maybe a year ago. And when she said that, I said, kiss of death. Something's going to happen. I was thinking to her account she was going to get kicked off or something. Nope. 40 million people or 42 million people are going to get kicked off. Not kicked off, but have delayed money into their account. So now, guys, keep in mind, the system is not shut down. It's not shut down permanently. There's going to be a delay of money going into their account. So what could happen is, let's say that nothing happens in November, nothing happens in December. If the government opens up January, they get back pay. I think, again, being naive, they get back pay for those 2 months. So now they're really going to splurge, right? They're going to get whatever, they're going to get 2 months, 3 months worth. They're going to get paid November, December, and January. They're going to be rolling in the dough, man. Rolling in the dough. But anyway, not the point. The point, guys, is that this could get ugly. And we have to definitely watch for how bad this might get. Might. Big ass might. M-I-G-H-T. Might. Not that it will happen. It might. I know some people on here, like, oh, you're fear-mongering. Why don't you fear-monger my nuts out of your mouth? I'm just letting you guys know what could happen. Right? There was somebody on here earlier that was like angry fearmonger or some shit like that. He get angry these nuts in his face while he's at it. But listen, I get it. To the untrained ear or brain, a lot of this shit I'm saying could sound like fearmongering. That's that's rightfully so, I guess. I don't fucking know, man. Yeah, but so anyway, guys, the many participants hate this country anyway. A lot of the EBT participants do not like this country. That being said, some people seem to think, well, you don't like this country, why don't you go somewhere else? I agree. Unfortunately, the entitlement that took over is insane. I've never seen such entitlement. Now, some of these people who were online who did these videos, some of them were actually screwing around. They were joking around, right? And some of these people were joking around, and they were just putting on a show for their video. And they actually, some of these videos, at least 2 of them were done months ago, if not a year ago. And other people are dead serious about it. And I could just tell in their demeanor. Though the one guy, I missed it. I watched this video again, and when he said something about, you need to work for me, like, when he said that was like, oh, he's fucking around. But initially, I missed that part. So I thought he was serious about it, but he wasn't. But other people are serious about it, and now that they're talking about meeting up and now. Now, here's the other side of the coin. I want you guys to keep this in mind. For a lot of the videos that are out there, they could be rage bait videos. That is a thing. This is where you piss people off to get the views. Do I find a problem with rage bait videos? Not really. But there was one rage bait video where had I been at the store with this guy, me and him would have been tussling on the ground. So what this guy did, and I think I told some of you guys before, but a lot of you are new. A lot of you are new. So anyway, that this guy went into the store. I think he was in Vegas, and there was like an all you can eat buffet, and they had lobster. And he took some crazy amount of lobsters, like 9 lobsters off the line there. And he sat down, and he was like, oh, I do what I want. He was being an asshole. Rage bait or not, he was being this guy also had a punchable face, but let's not go there. So anyway, they are absolutely rage bait videos. Yeah, thank you, Franny. So he's up there, he's filming the whole thing. And then he's like, he eats 1 lobster tail, 1 out of the 9 or 8 or 9 that he grabbed, and he eats some of that lobster tail and throws the rest of the lobsters in the garbage. Then proceeds to get more. Well, then the manager steps in and is like, yo, we're not doing this. He's like, oh, AP, I want to see that video. Ed Lee, I'll find it for you. I'll find it and I'll put it on Twitter or Rumble. But anyway, the manager, he said, well, he goes, yeah, you got to leave. He's like, I'm not going to leave. He's like, I paid my money. He says, yes, to fucking eat lobster, not to throw them in the garbage. So they got in the little mouthy thing. I would have rocked his shit. We would have been on. It was fucking bizarre. Like he did. And again, I don't know. That's not rage baiting videos. That's being an asshole. when you do shit like that. You're throwing away perfectly good food just to get, yo, it's on. Me and you are tussling. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I am the best fighter in the world. We will tussle until somebody wins. That's how I handle all my fights. I'm not going to sit there and be like, I'm the toughest guy in the world, and I'm going to beat everybody up. No. We're going to tussle, and whoever wins, wins. But you're going to feel it too. That's all I know. That's as much as I know when it comes to fighting. You're going to feel it too. Both of us are going to be aching when we get up in the morning. Anyway, and me being older, I'm probably going to be aching more, but still, we're not going to have this the lobster rage bait video. Thank you. Found it. So apparently the Walmart things is not happening. No, Walmart is not locking their doors, nor are any Walmart stores closing their doors November 1st due to any reasons related to the government shutdown or the snap cut or the alleged rumors that plan theft or looting. Walmart spokesperson told Snoops that the doors will remain open on November 1st. All right, so that was a rumor. Thank you for the link, Sarita. Appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, so the rage bait videos are out there, and maybe these videos are doing that. But some of the videos seem to be like dead serious. They're like, yo, lock your cars. Make sure that, someone said lock your homes. I don't know if they were like threatening to start breaking into homes, but they sound like they were. So, what do? Thank you for the heads up, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, anything can happen, guys. So you just need to be ready. That's all. You need to be ready for a flash mob running into a store and snatching shit. And again, guys, if they do that, just sit the one out. Just sit on the sidelines. Don't sit there and be like, oh, get in the middle of this shit. Like, no, don't grab the Cheez-Its. Granted, listen, if it's the last Cheez-Its or Spam, God forbid it's Spam. The last can, yeah, grab it. But don't get in their way. Don't try to stop them. Do not be a hero. Let it go. That corporation wants this to happen. They're part of the whole fucking scam, if you will. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Don't get in the middle of this shit. Let it go. These people run past you, so be it. You want to be sneaky and trip one or two? Maybe. Just know that they might get in your face, right? So just let it be. Let the corporations who want this shit to happen, because they're all part of this machine. All of them. So it is what it is. They run out of it, but if this is the last box of Cheez-Its or some shit, fight for dear life. Fight like they owed you money for that Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its. I know they're bad for you, but I love those things. Man, oh man. What? Lady, that doesn't make any sense. If the system will not pay EBT, some mothers are saying they're going to visit fire stations to tell them to let the dads finally take the children. What? Lady Goya? That doesn't make any sense. Can you please rewrite that? Because that was pretty bad. Anyway, because that don't make any sense. Listen. We had it happen once where a lady came to the firehouse asking for a food pantry. And the food pantries are closed that day. I think it was a holiday, matter of fact. So we conjured up some money and gave it to her so that she can go to the supermarket and get food. We have done that. But that's few far in between, And with this happening, we're not going to do it now, but we did that. That was a couple of years ago. So, yeah, firehouses can and might do it, especially if they know you. But if they don't know you, they're not doing this shit. So, Jason, do you think you could take Jake Paul? Watchmen. I would put my all into that one. I would absolutely put my all in that one. I don't like Jake Paul. I think he's an asshole. And just because he's an arrogant bag of shit that's done dumb shit, it's not a righteous dude. For some reason people think he is. He's the furthest thing from a righteous dude, man. But he's not righteous at all. Anyway, that's not the point. His youth might get the upper hand. But yeah. Someone said your hat is dirty. Aaron Douglas, so what? My hat is dirty. Cleaning your hat is bad luck. At least that's what I believe. That's why my hat stayed. You should see my blue hat at work. You'd be like, oh my God, is that mold? That's how dirty it is. I don't clean my hats, dude. Michael Black, very good. Listen, that whole area of Connecticut is nice, man. It's nice to be out of the city, breathe in the fresh air, breathe in the white man's air, It's nice to be out there. It's fucking breathing in all that free white man air. Yes, it's very refreshing. Better than the city, man. Anything's better than the city. I live above a highway, so yeah, I would definitely fight a 9-foot Rosie O'Donnell. Absolutely. Throw Cheez-Its at her. But anyway, this should be interesting, guys, if they don't replenish this shit. And a lot of people, some of the liberals are like, but on Thanksgiving month, you're going to do this shit? They could get their money later in the month. Just because the government doesn't open on the 1st doesn't mean that the 2nd or the 5th of November or the 17th of November that they won't open up and, fund the accounts. There's still some time. There's still some wiggle room. But the 1st is going to set the pace for the rest of the month. Should go sideways. Just know you come up to CNY or upstate. It's nice. No, listen, I used to camp upstate all the time. I like going into these small towns and fucking hanging out there. And, it's relaxing. But, yeah. It's very relaxing in the city. Sorry, out of the city. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all, man. The city sucks. Everything about the city sucks. Again, everywhere around here, like I've been meaning to do a live stream during the day so you guys could see what I'm looking at. There's sometimes I go on a walk and I don't see any drug addicts, and then sometimes I go on a walk and they're everywhere, like roaches, and they're always all doing the same shit. They're all bent over. I don't know how they're bent over like that. Like they're bent over like fucking, like a C in their spine, and they're just like a fucking, and they're shooting in their ankles or shooting in their wrist. It's like, it's holy. I'm like, are you diabetic? What are you doing? No, they're shooting up drugs, So yeah. It's bad here, man. It's really bad. It's gotten worse. My mother will ask for an update. I'm like, you'll never believe what we're seeing now, And she's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, it's bad. There's no need for them to come back here, like ever, RWD channel. No, not after the dumping that radioactive waste into the water, because some fucking body paid somebody off, and then the judge is like, well, you could definitely dump into the water. How did the judge say that dumping, was it 40,000 gallons of toxic waste or radioactive waste was okay? Oh, it'll disperse in the water. Really? Not a fucking thing. Really isn't. It's the worst fucking lie told to the fucking American people. That radioactive water will just disperse itself in there. You're killing the fucking immediate life near this area, if you will. EBT should have an age limit. Yes, 55 shouldn't be the limit. That should be the start of it. Like if you're 55 and you can't find work, then fine. 21, 18, 19 years old, 30, 40 years old, you shouldn't be on EBT. You should be working. You should be out in the fields picking cotton or some shit. I don't know. But you shouldn't be fucking sitting at home watching whatever they watch now, Netflix, and eating up all the fucking free food that we pay for. Get your ass out in the fucking fields, man. Pick some cottons, tap dance, do something. Sell Kool-Aid on the corner. I don't give a fuck. Make a fucking cornbread platter. Sell that shit. But at that age, you should be working. You should be a police officer or fighting fires. Listen, anybody who does that, you actually don't want to be a cop or a firefighter. Because you don't have any, you have zero standards for yourself. So you definitely are not going to fit in that kind of lifestyle, being a cop or fireman. Being a cop or fireman is a lifestyle. It takes a certain kind of person to do that job. Though the police department, at least here in New York, are hiring anybody. If you're a crackhead whore, they will hire you. How many times you get arrested for prostitution? 18. Did you do any drugs? I did a lot of smack back in my days. You're hired. You're hired. And they hire anybody. NYPD will hire anyone. The FDNY, not so much, but the NYPD will hire anybody. Though the FDNY right now, if you're a Negro, you're getting hired. You're black, you're hired. We need more Negroes on the job. That's how the liberal cities think. McAfee, I got to read the Book of Revelations again. It's been a while, and actually, even when I read it, was bits and pieces. But from what I remember, yeah, it's coming. Yeah, Netflix does suck. Though I watched a movie. I watched a horrible zombie movie called The Elixir. Horrible. The storyline was good. The storyline was there. The acting was horrible. I think it was Malaysian or Indonesians. Whatever it was horrible. It was just a badly acted. Like, these people couldn't act to save their life, man. It was pretty bad. And I stuck through it. I started watching it with my son, and he got up at some point and was like, fuck this, and left me watching this by myself. So there was that, My kids, like, listen, a horrible movie, they'll get up and walk away from it. I'll be the idiot sitting there watching it. Like, man, and I'll complain the whole way through. This movie sucks, but I gotta finish it. I'm not a quitter. I will watch this movie to the end. And then the movie was just horrible. The ending was pretty cool. It picked up at the end. Ending was was all right. What is your favorite firefighter movie? There's only two. Ladder 49 with Joaquin Phoenix was really good, and Backdraft, very good. And a lot of firefighters didn't like Backdraft, by the way, especially the firefighters from the 80s and the 90s. They're like, that bullshit movie. Backdraft was a love letter or a thank you from Ron Howard to firefighters, and that's how Ron Howard looked at firefighters. He looked at firefighters like superheroes. That is why Axe, played by Kurt Russell's character, Axe, that is why he behaved the way he behaved in Backdraft. That was a superhero thing. That's all it was. Yes, do we fight fires without jacket open, no mask on? No. But that is how he looked at firefighters. That is why McCaffrey, his last name, was how he was in the movie, or Axe. But yes, Ladder 49 was very good. It was a good movie. It's especially the ending. It is a good movie. You'll definitely like both of them. If you haven't watched Ladder 49, watch it. Very good firefighter movie. Emergency 51's a good show. Now, any of those firefighter shows, they're horrible. They suck. They suck dick. They suck dick a million different ways. All of those shows on there, like 911, shit, garbage. Fireproof, I haven't watched, but it's a religious movie more than it is a firefighter's movie. And I watched the scene from them. I'm like, man, that's horrible. That's the one with Kirk Cameron, by the way. Fireproof. It's worth the watch, but it was more about not a doomed marriage, but a marriage that's like sort of like failing, and he's got to find God and his purpose in his job again, and it's all right. But yeah, it's if you ever, I mean, I saw bits and pieces. I haven't watched it entirely. I want to watch it. But yeah, Ladder 49 and Backdraft, two very good firefighter movies. Possibly the only good firefighter movies out there. Then there's Backdraft 2. I'm going to tell you this right now before I go off the air. Do not fucking watch Backdraft 2. Don't. If I find out anybody watched them smacking the shit out of you guys, that is a shitty fucking sequel. It's not even a sequel. It's a separate fucking movie that has nothing to actually do with the first one other than Alec Baldwin's in it. One of the Baldwin brothers are in it, the one from the first one. It's a ridiculous movie. Don't fucking watch it. Other than that, guys, I will see some of you guys on the Angry Truths channel. I'll see some of you guys tomorrow morning for the Wednesday midweek report. Tonight on the Angry Truth, guys, we're talking about the government shutdown and Epstein, Charlie Kirk, EBT crisis, government shutdown. There could be a possible connection. Anyway, guys, other than that, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it as always. We'll see you guys Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken, for my doubleheader as well. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. And have a good night.